can. All right. Before we start as well, what is like your goal with League, and why do you want to get coached?
Well, I want to get better at the game. I think it's very fun to play with my higher elo friends, and I want to get better to just have fun, basically.
Mm-hmm. Do you have two monitors or no, by the way?
I have two monitors.
Okay, can you just turn or like put on Discord on one, and I'll like still draw with Epic Pen
I have it.
stuff.
Yeah, I have it.
All right, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I just I've like improved a lot this last season, and I like when you improve, it's very fun to play.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to keep doing it.
All right, and are there any like things in particular you want me to like have a look at when we're doing the session? Like, is there anything you think you struggle with that I could help you with?
Throwing leads is, well, I think my playstyle is a bit aggressive. Like I die a lot in lane.
Okay.
When I have leads, and that's probably one of the reasons I can't climb fast.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, feel free to play whenever.
Should I just keep it this way, or do you want me to fast?
You can fast forward a bit to lane, but what would you say like coming into this game? What are you thinking like for lane? Like, what is your like goal with the game, and what is like your plan?
Well, I am very happy I have a melee on sup, because I can like carry this game. That's my thought, and I really gotta watch out for Thresh. Can get one shot by Gene Thresh, but other than that, I don't have much thought in this lane.
Okay. So, how are you planning on winning the lane, or are you not thinking too much about that?
Not really. I just try to like hit enemies as much as I can and
okay.
do good trades and
yeah, no, fair. That's a fair answer.
Just try to kill them. That's like how I play. Maybe shouldn't always do that.
No, I mean it's good to play aggressive, right? I mean that's how you climb often, you know. Yeah. So I'm not gonna say like it's bad in a sense. It's good to have controlled aggression, though, right? That's and some lanes you can't really play aggressive, right?
Yeah.
Alright, but let's see.
Yeah.
Alright, so in general, like one thing I already noticed, if you wanna like start building the push a bit, I would recommend like thinning the wave a bit, like on the first wave. Doesn't have to be like a lot, and it can be like the custom minions as well, because that doesn't like screw up the wave in a sense, but still gives you the push.
Okay, because I think my thought process when I do this is that we have double ranged, so we could get auto push if we want to.
Yes, that is true, but the one big thing is like controlling the push as well, right? So, because you don't want to be pushing too fast. Could you go back a bit?
Here.
Yeah, I mean, it's like in general, here, you just kind of want to play, you want to play a bit closer to Emilio, you see what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm very far away from him.
Yeah, so in general, like, he should not step into the alcove, of course, but you want to stand, like, more on towards this side, right? Because if Fresh wants to go trade with Emilio, even if he does not flash on the Emilio, right? Like, and just walks towards him, then you still want to be able to hit the Fresh. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right, so you want to be spacing, like, the Fresh as well.
Mm-hmm.
And here I would probably just have hit the Fresh instead.
Yes, oh, that's also a thing, by the way. I can pause here. I was wondering if I should keep playing PTA, or if you think what's the movement speed? Fleet is better, because sometimes I make bad trades because I play for PTA, right?
I don't think you should play for PTA in that sense, like where you should feel the need to go for an extra auto attack. I mean, the main thing should be like PTA obviously scales better, right? Like, there's no way around it, right? The only thing you have to ask yourself is, can I get through lane without, like, going, like, what's called fleet, right? If you feel like that's the case, then for all I care, go PTA, right? Some lanes, it's gonna be nice to have, like, the movement speed so you can space a bit better. But in general, I mean, I think it's fine to go PTA, especially like this was like not super high elo in that sense, right? So it's like in general you can probably get away with laning like with PTA in most lanes.
Yeah.
So you should be fine to just play PTA, I think. But don't like tunnel on it too much. Like it's rather like an amplifier. It's not something you play for, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's what happened here with the Thresh. Do you think I should hit Thresh when I was playing for the full PTA on Jin, right?
No, I mean, I think you should have started hitting the Thresh like straight away, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
When you start hitting the Jin, then I think it's fine. Alright, something I noticed as well, like if you go back, like, I don't know, 20 seconds, is look at the sequence, like, because every time, like, Jin goes to last hit, you want to be able to, like, punish them on something, right? Like, in general, like, you can look back even, like, further than this, like, when the wave initially crashed, like, right here or something. Because, like, you can see, for example, the Jin, anytime he he wants to hit, like, I'm not saying you should stand in the Thresh's face, but what I am saying that, like, if you pause here, let's say, just for the sake of it, the minion is still standing here, like this minion, right? Then you can position, for example, in this bush, and you step back and forth, like in and out, and then the Thresh should not be allowed to stand where he is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anytime Jin goes for an auto attack, this Thresh should be getting hit, because then the Jin can't hit you back. Makes sense?
Oh, yeah.
Situationally, you can hit the Jin as well, if he's standing in a position for you to hit him. That's completely alright, right? But in general, you don't want to, like, just let them CS for free. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Alright. And if you have to CS as well, then of course that's fine. But in general, it's just, okay, make sure that they take some damage every time they're supposed to hit, you know?
Yeah. Gotcha.
Now, especially when it doesn't have hook, you can play aggressive. This is good. Okay, it was a bit over-aggressive at sometimes, maybe. But Willy should get the second one. You can look back on it.
Yeah, I feel like they misplayed mechanically very hard here.
Like, I think here, the main thing that I noticed, right, is that you're taking a lot of, like, minion aggro, right? So what you, in general, want to do is not stand, like, the middle of the wave. You want to stand more on the sides and, like peek in and out in a sense, right? Because I think, like, if they don't want to die here, like, if the Thresh does not walk forward here, you're just dead. You see what I mean? Like, to an extent.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think you get too much for it. Because this Thresh decides that, okay, I want to die here.
Yeah.
Right? You're just tanking the minions for pretty much their reason. Like, you can't chase into the minion wave. It's fine what you did initially, right? You can play aggressive on the Thresh hook, but it has to be controlled aggression, as I say, right? So he doesn't have hook, you can walk forward, you can take a few out attacks, take the space, make sure that he does not, like, control the space anymore. Every time Jin goes for an auto attack, you know, you go for one as well. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we were in a winning state, right? We just don't have to take an all-in.
Yeah, that's true. That's the, like, what I said earlier. I think I go for all-ins a lot more than I should.
Yeah. I mean, one thing is, like, important to recognize if you run out of damage or if they run out. Often when you play Jinx, you're not going to run out of damage, right? You know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, you're not going to run out of damage, but if the enemy has, like, for example, a bigger mini wave and you chase into that mini wave, then they're not going to run out of damage either, right? And you're just going to be tanking. And even if, like, let's say they stop hitting you and you just chase into the mini wave, you're just going to take a bunch of damage for zero reason, basically. So it's like you kind of want to space them and the minions at the same time, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, like I try to take as much damage on them as possible and as little minion damage.
Yeah, exactly. This is fine. But here's kind of what you're talking about, right? You kind of greed for the PTA. I think you should use a last hit, and then if you can get the last out attack, that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alright. Here, like, if you look back, like, 20 seconds. Like, one awkward thing with this entire, like, sequence is that once you shove in the wave here, you kind of have nothing to do. You see what I mean?
Yeah. I just walk around.
Yeah, exactly. So if you are in control of the wave like this and you shove it in and then they just catch it and you just walk around and accomplish nothing, then you're kind of doing nothing in a sense when you shove the wave, right? Makes sense?
Yeah.
There is no reason for you to shove the wave here. Like, all you want to do is to slow push the wave. Make sense?
Yeah.
The only time where you can like hard shove this wave, if like you have to have a reason. Anytime you like push a wave, you gotta have a reason for it. Make sense?
So I should probably just slow push this wave, wait for this wave, and then double crash both waves and ping the Drake.
For example, right? That's something you can do, right? Like, just have a reason why you should be hard shoving, right? If you're scared of a gank, like from enemy jungler, that can be a reason. If you just want to take a reset, that can be fine. It doesn't matter what it is, right? It's just you gotta have a reason for it, right? And if not, then it's probably best to slow push, okay?
Yes.
Alright, here for example, when they looked last at that melee minion, like that's where I would walk forward, right? You obviously do it now a bit, so you can keep playing. It's like in general, even if they don't walk backwards and the Jin decides to like last hit because the Wukong is not there, you just chunk it in one more auto. Alright, we get 1-4. I think the number one thing I've seen so far is that you kind of struggle with like understanding where you want to space, right? I think like maybe the biggest strength with like Jinx is that she has a lot of range over most people, right? You know what I mean? Like with her rockets. And for example, there you can see like you feel a bit safer than you should be, right? You go for one attack, then you go for another, and all of a sudden they're in your range. Make sense?
Yeah, because it takes too long to make the auto go off, so I kind of lose the range I have.
Right. So you like permanently want to like find this kind of area where, okay, what is my space, right? Like, you know, you want to be able to play on like what your spacing is, right? So you don't get like hit by CC abilities, you don't get hit by like whatever it might be, Jin autos, etc., right? You permanently want to just have a like imaginary line of what your play range is, right? And what their play range is, and stand right outside of their play range. Make sense?
Yeah. So I don't. That's yeah. That's probably why I get like my range. They always get in range of me because I go for the extra autos.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like, let's say for example there when they like chased you, right? If you had just kept walking, let's say, and they stopped chasing you, then it's fine to start out attacking again, right?
Yeah.
Like,
because I have the range.
Yeah, exactly. You're not like in a rush in a sense, right? Like to out attack them when like it's bad for you, but in a sense they don't want to chase you forever, right? So at some point they're gonna turn around, and then if you want to out attack them, then it can be alright.
Yeah.
Because it's like similar thing right here. You also like now they stand in your range, right? And you're not really punishing them for it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course, sometimes you're just not gonna be able to punish because it costs Jinx a bit of mana, right, as well to do so. So I understand why you're not doing it permanently. But it's also something to think about, like here. You should for sure be doing it, right? And you're also skill checking the hooks a bit, which is of course, I mean, it's nice that you dodge them, right? But if they do hit at some point, it's a bit of a disaster, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So preferably you want to stay like behind minions, like from the side where Fresh is. Make sense?
Yeah, I yes. I think sometimes I play off of confidence as well.
No, and that's good. Like you should be confident in that sense, right?
Yeah. Like I shouldn't always skill check the hooks, but sometimes I do when I feel like confident, you know.
Yeah, but this is good.
This is.
There you should use a kill the Fresh. That was a bit sad.
Yeah, that was a disaster.
Where's that confidence?
Yeah. Like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, in general, there it's just like just kill the Fresh, right? Like you were doing it good until you flashed the hook, basically. I think, like even if you get hit by the hook there, you don't care. You just kill the Jin afterwards.
Yeah.
And then it's like afterwards, like it's kind of what I mean, right? Like or like you've already won in a sense, right? Like you can keep going, like you did, but then it's not gonna end up good for you most of the time. So it's like just take the win. You know what I mean? If enemy like then decides to stay, you can probably dive them. If they decide to not stay, you can probably like just get a few plates, something like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a win-win situation either way.
Yeah, exactly. They are forced to make a bad decision, right? You don't want to help them out of that in a sense, right?
Yeah.
If you think you can kill them, I'm not saying you shouldn't kill them, right? Like, of course not.
Of course.
But it's just in general, right? It's not worth the risk if you're already in a winning position. If it's like a 50-50 play and they have more to gain out of it, you don't want to take that, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's something I should probably respect a lot more. Like when I get these small wins, I should just throw them away instantly because I want to kill.
Yeah. Because kills, like, it's not a team deathmatch game at the end of the day, right? So,
no.
Something to remember. Hey guys, it's Aqsept. If you're enjoying the coaching session that you're watching right now, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. I upload coaching sessions daily right now. I also upload shorts daily. And if you're interested in seeing the sessions a bit more live and asking questions while we're going on, then just remember, I always do these sessions live on my Twitch channel, so you can go follow that, link in the description. Anyways, thank you and enjoy the video. Yeah, this is good. I don't think you should die to this guy. If you do, well, maybe it's not so good, but maybe you do actually. Jesus. Okay, never mind. You're fine. Alright, I don't mind that sequence overall. I think it's good to like try to zone out the Jin, so like from the wave.
Yeah, that was what I thought. I was like, no way he's dropping this wave. I have to zone him off it, and then Kayn is just gonna kill me.
Yeah, potentially like what could be worth it is like instead of like using your W on the Kayn and like your E on the Jin, do it the other way around. You see what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because it's like the W is like still a zoning tool, right? If you use it against the Jin, well, so
yeah. That's true.
When do we can maybe after this. Alright, what is the plan right now from this point on, would you say?
Well, here I want the plate because they recalled and Kayn is mid.
Okay.
And Asir dead.
That's a short-term plan, right? Okay, get a plate.
Yeah.
What would you say the long-term plan is in general?
I don't really have a clue. I want to take down the turret and play for mid, I guess.
Well,
I don't.
Yeah, to an extent, that's not like a long-term, right? But I get what you mean. Yeah, go.
That's, I guess, as long as as far ahead as I think, you know.
All right. Can I ask you this question? Would you say that you're the carry this game? Like not in aftermaths, but just based on draft, would you say that you're the carry?
I mean, I am a hyper carry ADC, but we also have a Kassadin and.
Right. So both of you are maybe carries, right?
Yeah.
But you're one of them for sure, right?
Yes.
When would you say that you are strong in the game? Like, would you say you're a strong level 1?
I'm pretty strong level 1.
Yeah,
I mean, the strongest though.
Yeah, right. That's like one thing. You're not like super weak, right? But in general, for Jinx, you want to get some few items, right? Like that's the general idea.
She's a scaling champ for sure.
Right, for sure. And then you have to ask yourself, right? When am I the strongest in the game, right? Especially compared to their champions, right?
Yeah, that's around 3-4 items.
Right. So theoretically, the goal should be get the 3 items, right? It can be fine if you're ahead, like for example, right? If you're ahead, you're like 2 items and they're like 1.5 or something. Sure, play on that. You know what I mean? But in general, the long-term plan should be to get to a point where we feel like we can carry the game, right?
Yeah.
This is the goal.
Without them already like having a massive lead.
Right. And it's like we can play the game before that. That's completely fine. We can play aggressive as well. I don't mind that, right? But we gotta have a long-term plan, and then the short-term plans gotta like lead up to this, right? This means that, for example, if we think, okay, we outscale this game, which we most likely will do often with Jinx, this is good, by the way. Which I can't speak, which we often will, right? So then we gotta like, instead of like, for example, okay, let's play to deny the enemy resources, we gotta enable ourselves, right? For example, these are things to think about, right? Permanently, like, okay, I want to get as fed as possible. I want to take as many resources as possible. Whatever your short-term goal should be to accelerate yourself as much as possible. Make sense?
Yeah.
So whether it is taking one more wave or one camp or a few plates or a tower or whatever, right?
Yeah.
This should always, and it should lead up to you being ahead and being able to carry the game, right? Makes sense?
Yes.
And this, go.
my problem, I think, is as I said before, I'm playing like a scaling champ, and I play very aggressive in lane, so I will die oftentimes.
Yeah.
So I should just try to relax and play for later stage.
Would you say that you die often in the 2v2 or like to jungle ganks?
I think more in 2v2s because I misjudge the situation, or I make a mechanical misplay, or like I don't expect the damage, like those things. Because sometimes I feel a bit too confident and I die because of that.
Yeah, and I think it's like fine to play aggressive, as I said. It's just what I've seen so far. You often go a bit too deep, right, after you win the situation, right? So I think the main thing is that you gotta have to like set a rule for yourself. Okay, how deep am I willing to go, right? Like before fight starts, like how deep is good to go, as well. Make sense?
Yes.
And whether that is like okay, where enemy minion line is, for example, or like enemy tower, I don't care. It can depend on the situation, right? But just have okay. Once I go after this stage, right, I'm gonna be chasing too far. Make sense?
Yes, that's true.
And then also keeping up like the spacing the enemy, right? Because whenever you space the enemy, right, it's look good in that sense. Like for example, in the bot lane play when they just try to dive you, right, and you like you just got a double kill for free, right, because you keep spacing them. But when you try to play a bit too aggressive, sometimes you often like space into their range.
Yes. Also here, I bought the wrong item. I was going for the runes, but it was fine this game.
Okay.
I realized it here.
Yeah, it's not terrible this game at least, so it could be worse. There's worse games for it. Alright. So now laning phase is over, we're 2 items, right? What is enemy Jhin on? Or do you not know?
I do not know.
Yeah. So one thing in general, for example, now Jhin has come out on the map, right? Always when your enemy comes out on the map, you want to press tab. First thing you want to do. Now we can see, okay, he's on collector. Exactly. So you know how strong he is, you know how strong you are, right? You can see now he's only on collector, right? So in general, we're quite a bit stronger than him. I mean, this was well played, but this is once again, you play a bit over aggressive, right?
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Be alone there.
Yeah, I don't hate it, right? But it's like if you want to make these aggressive plays, like especially like there on mid lane, you see 2 people. You don't know where Kayn is, for example, right? This is one thing. Whenever you want to go for a play, you count heads on the map, right? That's one thing. The second thing is that if you really want to go for this, you're not a playmaker, agreed? You're just a carry.
Yes.
Right? So you preferably want someone with you. The only thing you need to do is ping people. If you think you're the carry, right, during the game, and you think that, okay, well, other people should be supporting me, then you should be pinging them what you want them to do. Make sense?
Yes.
This does not mean they will listen. That's just not how solo queue is, right? But it does mean that you have an impact on the decisions, right?
Yeah. I think it's... I should probably start pinging a lot more.
Yes.
When I want to do stuff.
And trust me, this is feedback I've given to almost everyone who I've coached. It doesn't matter if they're challenger or if it's like, you know. So like, it's like something people don't do in general, but you can have a lot of impact by pinging people, right?
Yeah. And if they listen, you might like win the game because of that.
Yes, exactly.
Here I am... I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're stronger than enemy Jhin, right? So.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident because I have the melee with me, right?
Yeah, and that's good, right? The only thing is that we have to be aware of a few things. Okay, for example, where do we have vision? So we're constantly able to hover towards a vision, so we know we're not like getting engaged from like fog of war. Makes sense?
Yeah.
So like for example, instead of standing in the middle, I would probably stand a bit towards the bot side, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's like, okay, we're scared of it, or like we want to help a referral, then it can be fine to hover towards top side though. But in general, right, that's the idea.
Because I got like I can't say the word in English. Fuck. Uppfattning. That you should always play around where your jungler is on that side.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Like especially like if it's taking what's called Herald here or something like that. But it's like in general, if you have vision towards one side, and if he's like, let's say he's on Wolf Camp, and you don't have any vision top side, and you hover towards top side, you're still gonna die when they come from that direction. You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true.
So in general, you want to stay towards the side wherever you feel the safest, right? And if that's where your jungler is standing, that's completely fine. If it's where vision is, that's fine as well. And sometimes maybe you want to be able to support a play instantly, for example, the Herald, right? And then it's fine to stand towards that as well.
Yeah. but yeah, you're right. Playing on vision is always like better.
Yeah. Now, one thing I noticed when we were kind of like sitting here in mid lane is that it's similar thing to in lane phase when I said it like, okay, we gotta have a reason to why we're hard shopping a wave, right? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're kind of use hard shopping, and I'm not saying you should slow push a mid wave. That's like not it usually, right? Like, but you often have a reason to what you should be doing like after you hard shop. Make sense?
Yes, I like shove every wave mid. That's
Yeah, but like right now you shove, and now you stand around. You see what I mean? And you have things to do. I promise you, you have things to do. And it could just be hitting this tower, for example, like Milio is doing right now. It could just be like, okay, pinging the Milio. I want vision somewhere because this guy needs to go ward, right? Agreed. But he cannot ward himself. If he goes and wards and he face checks the fucking K, and that guy is dead, right? And it's like, so in general, like you're supporting your team. It could just be, I want to go take a camp, you know, whatever it might be. I don't care, right? But you have something to do usually.
Yeah, I should always be doing something, not just standing around.
And the general thing, if you like push a wave, okay, let's watch this first. Alright, this is fine. One thing to note here is that you don't get your reset right because you stopped hitting the fresh, and that's like always something you want to prioritize on Jinx, right? Make sure you get your reset first.
Yeah, playing off a reset is like really
exactly
crazy.
And it's like, but often it's like if you like shove a mid wave, let's say, and then you're scared to hit the tower, let's say, or like stand in front of the tower and like space the enemy, then it often means that you're doing something wrong on the map. This is just good. You maybe space a bit too far forward at the end, but that's fine.
Yeah.
This is high Emerald. Yeah, I mean, this is good. No, and it's like in general, like, because what I see, right, is like, okay, if you're like pushing a wave and then you're scared to hit the tower or whatever, then it probably means you don't have vision somewhere. Then you should probably go place the vision. If you can't place the vision because you don't have any wards, the Milio should probably reset and you should chill out, you know? Or you should reset as well, or whatever. And I assume you end the game here.
Yeah, this was actually a pretty short game. But I think I got a lot of valuable information. Because I died, like, I got caught several times this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's because I overstay and I overplay it.
Right, and you want to play on like that edge, right? Often people go for like this one extra auto attack at the end of a play, which you don't want to do. So that like is thinking about, okay, how deep do I want to go, right? Because you don't want to go too deep, right? And then it's like you lose a lot more in the end, right? You just want to play to your limit in that sense. And it's fine to play over-aggressive, for example, right now, if you're trying to get better at the game and you're really trying to learn. It's fine to play like aggressive and over-aggressive, right? To just learn what your limits are, right? But you also gotta know like when to stop doing this thing, right? And actually like play to those limits. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if that's like you decide which day you want to play to your limits and just to play to learn, or like if you have a period, or if you have like, okay, I have one account where I like go full try hard, and then I have one account where I just play very aggressive. Whatever you do, it's fine, right? But you're separating those two in a sense. Make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That's true.
Do you have any other questions?
Well, I had a lot of questions before we started this, and then my mind just
That's
off. But I think I got like a lot of answers that I wanted.
All right. If you have any questions in the future, just DM me, and that's fine. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
That's
awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you too. I'll see you, man.
See you.